Hello, everybody. This is Slothy Games, and welcome to episode 7 of Let's Play Dofus. Um, Today, I'm going to be talking about three things particularly. One is achievements. Two is the Gobble dungeon, because I'm in the last room of the Gobble dungeon. And then three is pets. And those are all linked, and it'll become more clear why I'm putting them all in the same video very soon. So, first is achievements. So, if you haven't figured it out yet, achievements are a pretty big part of the game because they just kind of happen passively, but you do want to collect them because over time you unlock what are called sidekicks. So, every 500 achievement points, I think you get a new sidekick. And it's really important just to at least get the first one, which is Astra Knight, which I just got about a couple minutes ago, which is why I'm in the Gobble dungeon, because I can finally do it. Hey, because it's really hard to do that without any help by yourself when you're level 50 with kind of shitty equipment. But I'm pretty confident I can do it now. I'm not actually sure, but we'll see. But anyway, so some tips as far as achievements go. So, first of all, dungeons give so much uh, achievement points. So, like, each dungeon gives a grand total of 40. I mean, not 40, 60. It gets 60 achievement points. And you don't even have to get all of them. If you get like 30, I'd say that's a pretty successful run. And, like, just by doing just a few dungeons, you get a few hundred achievement points. And then also monsters, I think, is very important to look at. Specifically, Peewees. Probably one of the easiest achievements to get, but is so worth your while because how the monster achievements work is that you have to do one challenge at any point and complete it with all of the ones in the list, all the monsters in the list. So, for example, the Peewee one, you have to do, you could do this technically in one fight if you got them all together, but probably 2 or 3 fights, and you'll probably get around, I'd say, 40k as far as money, because Peewee feathers sell for a lot, and you get 100 of them. I mean 120. Math is hard. It's late. I'm sorry. That's like the second math error of min. And then there's many more you can do. And these don't go in order, because as you can see, things get harder and harder and harder and harder and harder, and then there's Borks. So, like, there's still more that you can do down here. The EXP for these is awesome. You get lots of money. The drops are sometimes really good. Usually very good. And just generally a good way to help yourself out in the game, and especially when you get a sidekick. So, if you weren't aware, sidekicks go in this slot right here. There are different ones that do different things, and basically, it's just another person that you can fight with that you don't have to worry about, like, equipment and things like that. It comes kind of overpowered, so that's nice. It's kind of like a poor man's dream when they can't do things for themselves. So in my case, that's to complete Gobble Dungeon. Now, I have to say I don't know if I can do this. It'll be embarrassing if I can't after I talked up Astro Knight so much. But I guess we'll see. So, without further ado, here we go. So as you can see, when you get into the fight, he appears with you. And then to switch places with him, you just have to click on him and switch places like that. And you can control him pretty easily. So I'm gonna do it like that. And then wish me luck, guys. Here we go. Alright, it's going straight for me. I was trying to avoid that, but I guess it doesn't want to be my friend. I understand. So what the Royal Gobble does is that it heals other Gobballs, it hits pretty hard, and it can also occasionally one-shot your summons, which is kind of annoying. So I'm gonna hope that it kills after it, but it probably won't because it never does what you want it to. And here we go. So the achievements for this dungeon is Blitzkrieg, which is the turn that you hurt them, you have to kill them. Kind of impractical, not planning on doing that one. What I am planning on doing is limp wrist, which basically is just not letting any of the enemies end next to you. Oh, I totally... Alright, nobody saw that. I've played this game before. Alright. So we're feeling good. If you're curious why the screen is all gray and gray, that's tactical mode. I just think it's so much easier. I mean, this is pretty. Has the advantage of being pretty. But besides that, it doesn't do much, and it's kind of hard to fight. And yeah, I just prefer it. Alright, so I think it's time to get the lifesaver out. Here we go. So as you can see, I'm progressing a little bit more and more with each video. I'm level 51, I think, right now. Not sure exactly what it is, but I'm getting there, is the point. I'm pretty amped about it. So I'm actually just going to throw him into the fight because he's kind of, I don't know, not too important. He's also super tanky. He starts with 700 health, even though I have 400 base, which is it's just so helpful having a sidekick, I think. And what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm just gonna do damage. Don't do a whole lot of damage, but that's what I do. Alright, so once I kill all the other gobbles, this should be less difficult. Alright, do we think a double incision will kill these? I kinda wanna just kill the war chief. I think I'm just gonna kill the war chief. Play it safe. And hopefully get aggressed by the royal gobble. Another thing that's kind of cool about this, you can die and still do the achievements and still win the fight. Sidekick can win for you. So, like, there's really not many disadvantages to using a sidekick at all. Alright, so I use this to block its path. One thing that I really like about Foggernaut, one reason I chose to play them, is that they can just block taps. They have 3 machines, I guess, that they can place, and they can just block off like an aisle, and now they have to awkwardly go around. Which is handy if you don't want to get hit. Cool. Couldn't scab it, but that's fine. Hey, like I already won. This was so much easier with Astrophyte. Finish it with this move because it's probably the one I use the least. Fancy this. Alright, we did it. Good job, everyone. I'm proud to say that I can beat Gobble Dungeon with a little bit of help from my friends. That was a Beatles quote. Yeah, yay! Neat leveled up again, but that is not what I want to talk about right now. What I want to talk about is that I just got my first pet. Yes, when you beat Gobble Dungeon every time, you get a Bow Meow, which is probably the worst pet in the game because it dies pretty fast. But I hope that I'll be responsible and take care of it. So, specifically about the Bow Meow, you can equip it, and it can give you most stats, but like I said before, it needs the most frequent feeding in order to stay alive, which is why it's very unpopular, unless you just want to spend a lot of money on Anarispa powder, which heals it. So, the Bow Meow, to get its intelligence up, you have to feed it fish, like gudgeon or grom. I think those are the 2 that you can eat. And then every 2 times you feed it, it gets a stat. So the next time I feed it in 5 to 12 hours, depending on what I'm on, I'll feed it again and it'll get an intelligence point. Pretty neat. So every other time you feed it, it gets a point of whatever you want. So that's as far as feeding pets go. There's also a pet called soul eaters, which you get from putting actual money into the game. You can get them from subscribing. You can get them just by buying Ogrinds. You can get them in a variety of ways. But basically how those work is that you don't have to feed them every so often, but the only way you get their stats up is by fighting specific monsters. So the classic example is the Gobtubby. And the Gobtubby, every time you feed it like X amount of Gobbles and Gobblies and War Chiefs and Royal Gobbles, it'll go up a vitality point. And then you just got to keep doing that over and over and over again. So that's how that works. How health points work is, so say I go 12 hours without feeding a Bow Meow, right? Because for a Bow Meow, you have to feed it at least every 12 hours or it loses a health point, and then it'll get hungry. If you lose a health point, you can get it back by feeding it, not Magical Cure, but something very similar, Enarispa Powder. Enarispa Powder you can buy from a vendor near the Sophoclean shoreline, I think. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm really out of breath for some reason. I'm just kind of tired. And I've also been talking a lot. And so obviously everything that I'm talking to you about, the reason I know all the stuff about the Bow Meow is because I win on the Dofus wiki. Now, if you want to play this game legitimately, if you want to use no outside resources at all, if you go to the, I forget what it's called, there's a name for it, but if you go to the shop near the Sophoclean shoreline, you'll see it. You can buy books that will teach you about your pets. But if you don't like, going into heavy Dofus reading and spending a few extra commas, just go to the wiki. It'll really explain how to take care of your pet. It'll be easy for everyone. And yeah, then you'll have a pet. And now, all of my slots are filled up, and that just feels good. So, until next time, I hope you found that this was helpful. Please feel free to leave a comment and subscribe if you'd like. That'd be pretty nice. But until then, I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you very much.